Hello, guys and gals, and welcome back to another episode of Creepypastas. Yes, this time, before we go into the land of gaming creepypastas once more, we're actually going to take a look at a significantly popular non-gaming creepypasta called Normal Porn for Normal People. Everybody knows that if you surf the web long enough, you'll see some pretty sick shit. It's especially true if you intentionally dwell into the dark underbelly of the internet. I've seen quite a few things I don't care to admit to, but one thing that I'll always remember is a site called normalpornfornormalpeople.com. The first strange thing about this site was that I didn't find it by actually looking for it. It was emailed to me by someone I didn't know. The email was as follows. Hi there. Found this site, is very nice, thought you might like. Normalpornfornormalpeople.com. Pass it on for the good of mankind. Pretty standard issue chain letter, although the URL and the last remark really piqued my curiosity. I was having a very boring day when I got this, so I made sure my antivirus was working, and then I clicked on it. It was a very average, very generic looking site. It gave the impression that the creators just barely gave a shit about making it look professional. The author seemed to have a very tenuous grasp on English, and on the front page was a long, boring, and incoherent rant that I don't remember or have saved. The site had a strange tagline, which even today people haven't figured out the meaning of, which was normal porn for normal people. A website dedicated to the eradication of abnormal sexuality. And from the sound of that, I wasn't sure whether I was here to watch porn or if I had stumbled onto some kind of eugenics program. But I was here now, and I was very curious to see what normal people get their rocks off to. So I scrolled down through the rant and nothing. The page didn't seem to link to anywhere else, and I was about to leave when I noticed every word of the rant was its own hyperlink. So I clicked one of them and was sent to a white page with a very long list of links in the form of normalpornfornormalpeople.com/random letters. That's what the URL was. So I stopped for a minute and asked myself if I really wanted to waste God knows how much time clicking random links that will likely give me a virus that will rape my computer. I figured I'd just try it for like 5 minutes maybe, just to see if anything came up. I clicked one of the links and was sent to another page. The page apparently had totally different URLs than the last one. I was just about to say fuck this when I clicked on the third link, and a video download came up. It was called peanut.avi. It was a 30-minute video of a man, a woman, and a dog in a kitchen. The woman would make a peanut butter sandwich and the man would set it down for the dog to eat. This was all that happened for 30 minutes. It was obvious that the cameraman had to stop filming and wait until the dog was ready to eat again, and the dog seemed rather sick by the end of it. I know what you're thinking. What the hell does that have to do with porn? I have no clue. I've seen a little over 24 videos from this site, and the majority had no sexual activity at all. After watching peanuts.avi, I went onto a certain image board I frequent to play online show and tell, like I always do with weird little shit like this. But someone had already made a thread about it. Some guy would receive the same chain letter I did. The image board thread got lots of people with nothing better to do than dig through the site, and that's how I saw their videos. Most of those 24 videos are very uneventful, and consisted of people talking to the cameraman in a room with nothing in it but a desk and a few chairs. I mean literally nothing on the walls or in terms of furniture. The whole room had a very cold, sterile feel to it. The conversations were just idle banter about previous jobs or embarrassing childhood moments. I kept expecting some kind of discussion about what the people were filming or what the site was about. But of course, nothing. You would never know these videos had anything to do with porn if you saw it out of context. I will say one thing though, the people who appeared in these videos were quite attractive, if I must say. However, the other videos that actually did feature content which I suppose could be called sexual is where things started to get weird. I'll give brief description on the stranger videos. If you're really eaten up with curiosity, I guess, you can try to hunt them down on a torrent site. But I'll tell you a description of them. I'll give you a name as well. So the first one is lickedclean.avi. A 10-minute video filmed by a hidden camera in which we see a repairman working on a washing machine for the first 2 minutes. When it's fixed, the repairman talks to the owner briefly and then leaves. The owner checks and makes sure the repairman is gone, and he begins to lick all over the top of the washing machine. This goes on for like 7 minutes. The next is jimbo.avi. A 5-minute video of an obese man performing his act. It was actually pretty funny, particularly in one part where he pretends to pull up a chair, then pretends that it breaks because of his weight. In the last 30 seconds of the video, the camera cuts to static briefly and cuts back to the man sobbing quietly, still wearing mime outfit and makeup. Some kind of scare fetish? I don't know. The next is Diana.avi. 4-minute video in which the cameraman talks to a woman in a room different from the interview room, which I'll say, that's the interview room. This room looks like one you'd find in a normal person's house. Exactly where they are is never specified, as Diana only talks about her violin playing. She obviously plays her violin, but she keeps getting distracted by something. I didn't notice this until someone on the image board thread pointed it out, but if you look in the mirror in the background, you can see a fat man in a chicken mask masturbating. Fucked up. The next one is Jessica.avi. It's another 4-minute cameraman video. This time he's outside a house, talking to another young woman. They talk about canoe rides. The camera zooms out to reveal the city streets behind them occasionally. The strange thing is, no one so far has been able to identify where the street is. Guesses have ranged anywhere from Europe to Australia to the Philippines, but there's yet to be a match for the street shown in this video. After that is tonguetie.avi. It's a 10-minute video. The first 5 minutes consists of an elderly woman making out with a mannequin. Ugh. The video cuts out like it did in Jimbo.avi halfway through, and the scene is now a group of mannequins huddled together in a circle around the camera. The lights have been dimmed, and the elderly woman is nowhere to be seen. From this point on, there is no sound. Stumps.avi is the next video. 5 minutes long, where a man with no legs is attempting to breakdance on a DDR mat, in what looks like the kitchen from Peanut.avi, but much dirtier. There's radio music playing, unseen in the background, but it stops at the 4-minute mark when the man collapses on the mat in exhaustion. He breathes heavily and pleads with someone off-screen to let him rest. This off-screen person becomes terrifyingly enraged and yells at him to keep dancing, which he does. You can hear this off-screen person begin to scream as the video ends abruptly. The next one is Privacy.avi. The woman from Diana.avi is masturbating on a mattress in the interview room, while the man from Stumps.avi walks around on his hands, while wearing some kind of goblin mask. The door in this room is always closed in the other videos, but it's now open. In this video, the only light is in the room, and the hallway is dark. Near the end of the video, you can see an animal quickly run through the hallway. And finally, the last video we uncovered was Useless.avi. It was 18 minutes long. A blonde woman from one of the previous interview videos is tied down on a mattress in the interview room. She attempts to scream, but her mouth is taped over. After 7 minutes, a man in a black suit and mask opened the door, but he does not enter. He holds the door open for an animal that was running in the hall from the previous video. It's revealed to be an adult chimpanzee, its hair shaved and its entire body painted red. It seemed to be starved and abused, with several wounds along its shoulder and back. When the chimp enters the room, the masked man closes the door behind it. The chimpanzee sniffs the air for a moment, may have been blind, I don't know, and notices the woman tied to the mattress. It goes into a frenzy and begins to maul her. The assault goes on for a grueling 7 minutes, and the woman finally dies. The chimp eats flesh from her corpse for 4 minutes as the video ends. The thread then exploded with activity after this video was uncovered, and people discussed it long into the night. When I came back to the image board the next day, I found that the thread was deleted. I tried to start another one, and they just banned me. I tried emailing the guy who sent me a chain letter with the site's URL, sent him 5 messages, but I never got a response. I've tried to discuss the website on various places, and I get banned frequently. The site itself was also deleted about 3 days after Useless.avi was uncovered, likely because someone contacted the authorities about it. Probably. The only proof that normal porn for normalpeople.com ever existed was a few screencaps people took, and videos from the site that people saved and uploaded on torrents, the most popular of which being Useless.avi, which found its way onto a few gore sites. Wherever you upload them to, all of the videos from normal porn for normalpeople.com end up getting deleted after a while. Well, how was that? Normal enough porn for you? Well, honestly, allow me to give my, legit opinion on this. I think it was a little overhyped. It wasn't bad in the sense that the imagery actually did creep me out, and I love internet-based creepypastas like this and Funny Mouth. Seriously, they really do speak out to me more so than any other type of creepypastas, gaming in general. I mean, I like the internet-based ones because they have that hint of reality to them. They have that, fiery sort of tinge to them. But, in the end of this, when I look at it, it was just the videos, to me, didn't really have the connections and descriptors. I mean, yeah, they had the imagery, but they weren't really connected properly, and I felt they just didn't have that. I mean, and if they did have a connection, it was just way too latent. I could read more into it, and I've tried, but I really, the connection doesn't really, piece together. But I mean, I feel this would be a lot better, if it had, screen captures or actual video, instead of just descriptors, because they don't really work well. I mean, just having a little screen cap, even if it was a hazy one, would have been like so much, better. I mean, if you look at, last week's creepypasta we did, tape from Treasure Island, we had the little Snow White picture. I mean, that would have been really nice if we had anything hazy like that here, because it just adds to that, you know what I mean? It fills in those gaps that we really need. Now, the site actually exists, and you can visit it and make accounts, and it has footage of, Squidward Suicide, Dead Bart, and Happy Appy. Don't worry, we'll get to that one day. One day, my friends and family, but not today. You can go to that site and you can, check out an archive of their own content that they produced, shot low budget, no proper lighting or cinematography, and very basic post operations. Not saying that's a bad thing, I'm just giving you an idea of what it's like. But these videos, they have they also apparently have a connection, and they also deliver some form of message. I, however, haven't went into such a, deep insight into it. I haven't really looked really intensely into it, and honestly, it's something that it's really worth checking out on your own if you have the time. I'll leave the website link in the description below. I mean, the videos, because of that, low budget tinge to them, also have this sort of, authentic, creepy quality to them. I mean, you can make something really high budget, but it sort of loses that luster, if you know what I mean. But moving on, the creepypasta itself was nothing too special. You get a chain letter, you go to it, and you find some gore porn, ironically enough. Sure, the gore porn is disgusting, but it doesn't provide that hair-raising tingle that something like Funny Mouth ended up giving off. Because although the imagery is still done quite well, it's really more of a build-up, thing. That's why Funny Mouth was so good, because it built that up. It didn't just instantly say, here's some guy following you, or, stalking you on your internet, reverse sales, screwing you up. No, it didn't go to that. It was building up very slowly and slowly and slowly, and then you found out later on in the end that it was just this, really elaborate sort of thing. It didn't just throw it at you. It built it up. You had to go into it. And yeah, it was longer, and that's what helped it, because it really fleshed out. And I mean, this ended in sort of a cliffhanger kind of sense, that if you post this shit anywhere, you disappear. I'm kind of fucked, aren't I? Anyways, to me, I feel as though it should have been a tad more fleshed out, like Funny Mouth. And if that was the case, if it really had that proper build-up along with this imagery, I wouldn't even be complaining. The imagery, again, like I said, was great, although the connection was a little hazy to me. But that's really all I gotta say about this. What would you rate this creepypasta, and what would you change to make it better? This has been another episode of Creepypastas, and if you like what you saw, then like, comment, and subscribe. For all of you wondering what game I'm playing on the screen, this is a Torchlight 2. It's for PC. It's essentially a dungeon crawler roguelike game similar to Diablo in vein. Pretty fun to play, actually very fun to play. I'm actually playing a modded copy of it right now. The mod's running through the workshop, but yeah, if you ever wonder what game I'm playing on the screen, I will key it in the beginning of the video. I'll put it in the description, and sometimes I'll give it a mention at the end. But yeah, this is me, Mudahar, and I am out.